Yo, what is going on, guys? Epion here. Welcome back to another Division video. So you may have heard that the game is actually back in a very good place, and you probably have reinstalled it and hopped back in and are kind of stumped on exactly what to do. Well, stick around and I'll give you guys my top 6 tips for getting back into the Division. So with the recent 1.5 update, Massive has put this game in a very good place where if you either have been playing the game since launch or just coming back, you're going to find that your time invested in the game is actually going to be a very solid reward. So starting off with tip number 6, what I recommend is you guys sell all of your old gear that you don't currently have equipped. Because of the new gear system and the gear score and the way that they added in the world tier system, you're not going to need to keep any of that old gear and are going to be getting a lot of loot very, very quickly and very easily. All of this new gear is going to quickly replace the gear that you have on. And one of the big things that you're going to end up doing is recalibrating a lot of your gear. So having the funds to be able to pay for that recalibration is very important. So pick whatever weapon you really want to use, whatever piece of armor you really want to wear, and everything else that you have, just go ahead and sell that to the vendor so that way you can get the most credits that you can for it. Tip number 5 is to set your world tier to the max that you can. In 1.4, Massive introduced the world tier system, which basically increased the difficulty and as well as the reward scaling in the game based upon your current gear score and the world tier that you're at. I would recommend that you set this to the highest you possibly can as you farm gear, because as you get better pieces of gear, you're going to push yourself towards the top tier, which is currently tier 5, and that's where you're going to get that 256 gear score set. In addition to this, when you're playing in the actual main world, what I recommend is that you guys run around from location to location instead of using the fast travel. The reason you want to do this is you stand a very good chance of getting good quality item drops from random roaming mobs throughout the world. So essentially it just increases your opportunity to quickly get that loot you're looking for and to get yourself to a better position in the game. Tip number 4 is actually aimed at how you can get geared up fairly quickly, and the best thing to do is to do the daily and the weekly assignments. You can find this information by going into your map and scrolling over to mission objectives and taking a look. Every single day the top set will reset and you'll be able to accomplish a new one, and then the weekly ones will also be available for you. Now doing this is going to earn you guys gear caches, and this is some of the best ways you can get loot from the game. Tip number 3 is to grind the content. So if you guys have the DLC, I highly recommend that you start off with the Underground. You basically set up these missions and you play through them. You can play these on normal and get gear cache essentially every time you complete it, as well as a piece of gear from the boss. As your gear and your stats get better, you can actually set this to harder difficulty levels because the bosses will actually drop more pieces of loot for you. Running survival is also a very good option because once you get into the dark zone inside of the game mode, you actually have the ability to pick certain things that you loot, and those will give you specific types of gear cache items. So for example, you can see that you're able to get gear cache that actually focuses on gear sets, and those will probably help get you towards that build that you're trying to accomplish a lot easier. If you don't have any of the DLC, you can easily just farm the main missions throughout the game, run them on hard mode or challenging mode depending on what it is you feel comfortable with and what your stats actually allow you to survive through. You'll get good loot from all of this, as well as being able to push yourself up to that next world tier. Tip number 2 is to build up your toughness. Your toughness is essentially just a combination of your stamina attribute as well as your armor attributes, and these two together basically determine how long it's going to take for mobs to kill you. Building up your toughness also is going to make you a lot tankier and make it easier for you to survive content as you play it either solo, in a team, or if you venture into the dark zone, you're going to be able to not be completely melted by other players. Right now, the current armor cap is at 60%, so whenever you get pieces of gear, your first thing you're going to want to do on that, if it has good stats on it, is to actually re-roll for armor as one of your main recalibration options. Finally, tip number 1 is to be active in the community. Learn the meta and learn what builds people are working on right now and how effective they are. Because of the way the game is built, essentially you can kind of determine that one specific build is really going to help with both PvE content and PvP. So if you want to be able to optimize your playtime and your character, learn what the meta is, hang out on Reddit, hang out on the main game forums, and just learn what it is people are doing. There's plenty of YouTubers out there who are putting out build videos all the time, and some of them are really, really good. And they're going to help you guys be able to get towards that point where you're very competitive and be able to keep up with the rest of the community. And there you have it, guys. Just really quick, simple tips to help you get back into the game. Hopefully you're enjoying it, and hopefully it's going to keep moving forward and build upon the community that it already has. If you guys found this video useful, like is super appreciated. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more upcoming content, and leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. If you're coming back to the game from earlier patches, how exactly you feel about it, what you've been enjoying playing the most, and what you're hoping to see in the upcoming future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.